Breaking news. The average Russians who are being tried for criticizing Ukraine. One of the thousands of Russians arrested for criticizing the offensive in Ukraine was 51-year-old musician and environmental activist Alexander Bakhtin. His arrest took about a year. Ordinary Russians' trials are typically held in private, unlike those of high-profile critics, who often draw large audiences. Only Bakhtin's mother and one friend were present at the event. She testified against her own son in court after being called as a prosecution witness. "A fly wouldn't hurt, Alexander," she told AFP tearfully. "He protects animals, he's an environmentalist." Ludmila Bakhtina. The 79-year-old woman barely touched her son's arm as he was led into the courtroom in handcuffs. Since he was arrested for spreading fake information about the Russian army, she had seen him twice. He faces up to 10 years in prison. Bakhtin is accused because he made 3 social media posts in March and April 2022 in which he lamented civilian casualties and placed blame on Russian President Vladimir Putin. A year later, he was taken into custody in his suburban Moscow hometown of Mytishchi. According to Bakhtina, "Everyone in our neighborhood was shocked. The purple-dressed, cardigan-wearing old lady testified. I signed my testimony without reading it." Bakhtina remarked that the investigators' written statement seemed lengthy in comparison to their interview. The prosecutor questioned her, "Do you think that the Russian army is carrying out a genocide of the Ukrainian population?" There was a resounding, "I don't," from her lips. "And what does your son think of the president?" "My son is opposed to the war and a pacifist. So am I. Arrest me if you want to." After that, the judge gave Bakhtin permission to question his mom. "Did they inform you that you could refuse to testify against me when they interrogated you on March 6?" Bakhtin asked, his voice cracking. "No," there was a piercing cry from her. The usual audience date of June 20 was chosen instead. According to his mother, Bakhtin has bronchitis and heart problems and will remain in custody. Independent rights group OVD Info estimates that over 20,000 Russian citizens have been detained for protesting the conflict in Ukraine. Thousands of people have been accused of discrediting the army by spreading fake information about the offensive. On Sunday, a Russian official confirmed that the Ukrainians had retaken a village in southern Zaporizhia, marking their second success on that front since the start of their counteroffensive. Vladimir Rogev, the official in charge of the situation, stated that Ukrainian forces had captured the town of Piaty-Katki and were setting up permanent positions there. Rogev claimed that the enemy's wave-like attacks had been successful. South African President Cyril Ramaphosa met with Russian and Ukrainian leaders in St. Petersburg, where he presented Russian President Vladimir Putin with a 10-point peace plan from 7 African countries. In response, Putin repeated his usual accusations that Ukraine, not Russia, was the party blocking communication. Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov was quoted by Russian news outlets as saying that Putin was interested in the plan but that it would be difficult to realize. Groups serving the public